Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40k Universe. I am your host, Gershwin, and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we continue talking about Xeno races of Warhammer 40k as we get into the Nephilim. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40k lore videos every single day. And of course, if you have any suggestions, comment down below. But with that said, let's get into 40 facts on the Nephilim and the destruction of their race. The Compliance of Melchior was a joint imperial compliance of the world of Melchior that was carried out by both the Luna Wolves and the Blood Angels legions during the latter years of the Great Crusade in the early 31st millennium against the vile Xenos designated as the Nephilim. The world of Melchior was discovered by the forces of the Imperium during the Great Crusade. The human population found there was held in thrall by the malevolent Xeno species designated as the Nephilim. The Nephilim were a minor Xeno species, but they towered over the Primarchs and were twice as tall as the Astartes. Melchior served as the last bastion of these foul creatures, hulking entities of roughly humanoid shape who were smooth like carvings of soapstone, with abstract shapes approximating arms and legs. Their dome heads emerged from their shoulders without a neck, and an array of olfactory slits and eye spots ringed the surface of their skulls. In the light, the Nephilim looked like objects crafted of blown glass, their semi-transparent flesh glowing in the bright day. The Nephilim possessed an unhurried, careful agility, like that of a sea-going creature seen through the walls of a glass tank. They moved deceptively slow through air, as if they were swimming in water, but they could move fast if they wished, darting and spinning, becoming difficult to hit. The alien giants, mocking humanity's greatest dreams of peace and unity, had left a trail of destruction behind them that had claimed 100 worlds before they had come to rest upon Melchior. Sagan, the Decora Spine, Orpheum Minoris, each of these planets had been denuded of all human life. Populations herded into chapels as big as mountains and then slowly consumed. Even their name, Nephilim, the name of the fallen Seraphis, was a name taken from ancient human mythology, that of Terra and Caliban. The true horror of it was that the Nephilim used those that they preyed upon to do their soldiering for them, snaring the pliant, the lonely, the sorrowful with their idea of attainable godhood. They plied their victims with stories of eternal existence for the faithful, of an endless sorrow for the agnostic, and they were very good at it. Perhaps the Xenos really believed that what they were doing was somehow taking their victims closer to a form beyond flesh, to an afterlife, in an eternal heaven state. It did not matter. With their advanced technology, they implanted bits of themselves into their thralls to further their communion. They cut their own flesh and made living masks to mark their devotees. The Nephilim controlled minds, either through the transmitted power of their will or through the weak character of those they chose. They were an affront to the Emperor's hope for the creation of the rationalistic, secular galaxy outlined by the imperial truth. They represented not only an offense to the purity of the precious human ideal, but in their insidious cuckoo nest displacement of those who foolishly gave them fealty. For what the aliens fed upon, what the scout marines of the Blood Angels and the Luna Wolves had seen and reported back, were the very lives of those who cherished them. The empty chapels were piled high with stacks of desecrated corpses, bodies that had been aged years in only hours, as all living essence was siphoned from them. The Primarchs of the legions were disgusted as the true understanding of the enemy they faced was revealed. In the stratagem of his flagship, the Vengeful Spirit, Horus showed his brother Sanguinius, the Primarch of the Blood Angels, the plan that he had conceived to break the will of the Nephilim. Horus wanted the Blood Angels to march shoulder to shoulder with their cousins, cowing the aliens with the sight of an army of 1,000 powerful Astartes, rolling without pause to the gates of their last bastion. And then, through those gates, over the battlements, not stopping, not pausing to parley or hesitate. Like the ocean these things sprang from, Horus had said, he will roll over the aliens, drag them down, and drown them. The sheer bombast of the plan was its greatest strength, but Sanguinius had not been easily swayed to it. This blunt, brute force approach was better suited to their more intemperate brother Primarchs, to Limenras or Angron. Sanguinius felt that neither he nor Horus were so artless, so focused upon the target to the detriment of all else. But in the end, he agreed. When the time came to enact their audacious plan, Horus and his Luna Wolves met the Xenos army on the sparkling white plains of the Silver Desert. Before open hostilities began, Horus attempted to parley with the Nephilim one final time, but the overconfident Xenos refused to capitulate, casually informing the humans that they could not win. Horus informed the Xeno commander that it had made a grave error, for it would be the Nephilim who would fall. The Luna Wolves would be the anvil upon which the Xenos would break, and the Blood Angels would be the hammer. With lightning speed, the heavens screamed as a rain of ceramite drop pods tore through the outer atmosphere of the planet, and fell like flaming meteors towards the Silver Desert. Falling with them were Stormbirds and Thunderhawk assault gunships that turned and wheeled through the air towards the gargantuan Nephilim encampment, carrying companies upon companies of the Ninth Legion. The speed of their assault was the key to victory. The alien invaders and their zealots had successfully been drawn out to confront the massed forces of Luna Wolves, leaving the defenses of their flanks thin. But the Xeno giants were not slow in their thinking, and the moment they understood that they had been duped, they would attempt to regroup and fortify. The Blood Angels did not allow this to happen. The Nephilim were broken and cut down, their cohesion shattered by the brutal deep strike. Caught between the brutal fury of two Space Marine legions, the Nephilim were finally put to the sword. Years later, in the early days of the Horus Heresy, the War Master Horus tricked his fellow Primarch Sanguinius into taking his Blood Angels Legion to Cygnus Cluster, claiming that the Nephilim had not been exterminated, but had returned to enslave the human population again. Horus also deceived Sanguinius into believing that the Nephilim, with their powers of mental manipulation, possessed a device that could cure the Blood Angel's secret genetic affliction. But the reality was that the Nephilim were already destroyed. Their homeworld was eventually located by the White Scars Legion, and Jagatai Khan oversaw the exterminatus of the planet and its entire population. And those were 40 facts on the Nephilim and the destruction of their race. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and of course what's not to enjoy about faceless giants who mind control humans and then get killed by the Space Marines. Now, you guys always ask, what would be a good story to tell if GW ever decided to create a movie? This would be a perfect example of a good plot, a good movie, because it shows the relationship of Sanguinius and Horus, which is an incredibly important relationship for the Horus Heresy, and then again it shows like the power of a Space Marine as opposed to a regular human, because the regular human in this story would of course be overpowered by the giant Xenos, and then saved by the Space Marines. And just the ferociousness of an attack like this would be awesome to see, you know, in the big screen, especially seeing like giant Slender Man type of creatures, even though these guys aren't going to be wearing suits or whatever. But it would be pretty awesome to see a movie of this battle. Now, what do you guys think? What story, what book have you guys read that would be really interesting to see as a movie? The more I think about it, this battle, it would be cool, but it would be kind of like that the Great Wall movie that came out a couple months ago or last year, where it's just kind of like CGI and battles and not so much story. Maybe something that's more down to earth, something that deals with humans and just, you know, regular Imperial Guardsmen and not Space Marines. Comment down below, let me know what you think, what would be a good movie idea to start off the Warhammer 40k cinematic universe. And of course, if you guys like what we do, so subscribe to the channel. You're probably already a subscriber if you've lasted this long. If you want to support us a little bit more, jump on over to Patreon. You get extra videos by supporting us. It's a simple $1 a month, and it helps us create more videos. If you can't, we understand. Simply by liking, commenting, and sharing, it helps out the channel a lot. It tells YouTube that you want to see more content from us, and of course YouTube sees that. Especially hitting that little bell notification icon right next to subscribe. That really helps us out. But you already know that. If you guys are viewers our daily viewers. And of course, links to the wiki page are down in the description to learn more about the Nephilim, to learn more about the whole battle within Sanguinius and Horus, and why it's so important, or why the story is so important. And of course, guys, thanks for everything. I'll see you tomorrow. This is Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.